Bring us more on that breaking news that we brought you just a few moments ago, that there's been an assassination attempt on the former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Let's get the latest then. On the phone, I'm joined now by our Asia correspondent, Cordelia Lynch. So, Cordelia, what can you tell us?
Well, I'm in Wazirabad. We were following Imran Khan on this long march from Lahore to Islamabad. He started this march 6 days ago. His drive was to try and bring early election to this country. He is pushing for radical change. He was ousted himself just a short time ago, and we have seen large crowds turning out for Imran Khan. Now, I had just interviewed the former leader. I asked him about the violence that some people had been concerned about, some had predicted, and he was hopeful that they would not experience any and that this was a peaceful march. He then went up to the roof of this container. The container is where he's been addressing the crowd. And it was there, after a raucous reception. We had just gone downstairs inside this container. I was speaking to some of his staff from the PTI party when we heard a sudden commotion. A man came downstairs, his foot very bloodied. A woman I'd been speaking to suddenly fell silent. There's a lot of concern and anxiety. Then another person came downstairs, appearing to be injured. They were taken into an ambulance. We were hurried off the container. A lot of panic in the air, people rushing. No one could quite work out what was happening. Then Imran Khan emerged. He had been shot, as I understand it, in the left leg. In fact, our producer here, Ahmed, was able to see that. He was very close to Imran Khan as he emerged. He was taken away. I've also spoken to one doctor who was close by, who has treated 3 patients. This really the worst case scenario. What so many people were concerned about was that this peaceful protest had the potential to turn violent. Now, I've spoken to Imran Khan's staff. They insist that he is okay. He has been taken to hospital. But this, a very dramatic turn of events, and you could really feel the rapid fear. I cannot overestimate just how much of a change in atmosphere and tempo that we witnessed. Just an hour before, we'd seen people throwing up confetti. I was being told by Imran Khan about the momentum, that the genie was out the bottle, that he was confident that he would return to leadership. And then now this, which has brought a sudden pause to what was meant to be a hopeful march for him.
And Cordelia, just reiterate what we know about the extent of his injuries then.
Well, I was just able, in fact, to speak to one of the senior members of his team. She, in fact, hurriedly tried to get us into a car. There was obviously worry about any enduring threats close by. All I was able to ascertain from her was that 4 people were shot, including Imran Khan, in his left leg. I asked her where these shots had come from, because we had been on top of the container filming for about an hour, and we wanted to understand whether these shots had been fired from on top of that container or not. Certainly downstairs there was worry amongst the staff that the threat was on board. That is why we were taken off so rapidly. But in fact, this senior member of staff told us that it had come from the bazaar area. So in other words, the street area surrounding this town that we are in. This is a rural town, one where he enjoys popular support. One of the points being made by his opponents is that he is going to Imran Khan territory, that he is addressing the devoted, if you like. So this will come as a great shock. I know a lot of people within the crowd were instantly in tears, very worried about Imran Khan's health and what had happened to him. The ambulances arrived, kind of barreled through the crowd very rapidly. But as I say, they were able to remove him. And in fact, we too are about to move on to try and get a bit further away so we can bring you a bit more of this story as it's unfolding. We'll be in touch with Imran Khan's team to try and get an update on his condition.
And give us a sense of why there was concern about violence surrounding this long march that you tell us that he was carrying out. Give us some context of the political situation and why there were concerns that he might be targeted.
Absolutely. Well, there has been a sort of rhetorical back and forth between the two sides. The government, there's been worry expressed by the police, and Imran Khan and his PTI party. He spoke very recently about a revolution that he had witnessed in the past 6 months. And he said that this revolution would take place either peacefully through the ballot box or through bloodshed. It, of course, was his preference that this is done democratically, peacefully, and through the ballot box. And it was only an hour before he was shot in the leg that he was affirming to me that he was confident that this would not turn violent, that this really was about a democratic groundswell, the people were riding this populist wave, that they had faith and investment that he will bring the change and root out corruption in Pakistan, stabilise the economy, because this is a nation that's been struggling deeply with economic woes. There's concern it might default on its international monetary fund debt. And so he is still enjoying, despite being ousted from his role and convicted himself of trading state gifts, he is actually enjoying a great deal of support still. His party still control a great deal of the provinces here in Pakistan. But this is a nation that has had a history of deep fault lines. There is the strong role of the military, a military that in part helped him rise to power, that he has recently been deeply critical of. And I've been interviewing the police chief of Islamabad just in the past couple of days. There they have barricaded the heart of government, in the parliament, the president, the prime minister's house, all barricaded, police getting ready to drop tear gas if indeed they needed to. The police chief there insisted to me he wanted to give people the democratic right to protest. But such is the volatility of politics in this nation and the deep feeling. There was thought concern in recent days that this had the propensity, the potential at least, to turn. And today we witnessed that firsthand.